Hello, 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 hello. A very good evening. Masquera say, Masquera say, Masquera say. So, I'm glad to be here and I'm glad to be talking to you tonight. After a very long time and after a very long struggle, we couldn't connect. As you all know, here in Zimbabwe, we have a problem, a network problem. So, I don't know where we are going as a nation when you can't even go live wherever or whenever you want. When you are out of town, you cannot connect, you cannot go live, which is a problem we need to deal with. This is the reason why I always say we need new leaders, we need people with new ideas. We are going to bring a better Zimbabwe. But today or tonight, we want to talk about something which is very important. ZANU PF is directly in support of the sanctions we have. ZANU PF is in support of the sanctions we have here in Zimbabwe. And I am going to give you the reasons why I am saying so. So, you know what happened? ZANU PF recently, they attacked Nelson Chamisa. And they did accuse him of being the person who is causing troubles, like in terms of sanctions, but let's go onto this issue and discuss. Let's get into this issue and be factual. We want to be factual about this issue. So you have seen that it was reported that the rapporteur, the UN rapporteur, was coming to Zimbabwe. And when it was reported that the UN rapporteur was coming to Zimbabwe, we started to hear narratives that the opposition was planning to misbehave, especially the opposition led by Nelson Chamisa. And at the same time, they've accused Nelson Chamisa of trying to abduct himself. They've accused Nelson Chamisa of trying to do a lot of things. Okay, let's go onto this issue of sanctions. Why is it that ZANU PF has chosen this time when the rapporteur is coming to Zimbabwe? This is the right time they have chosen to protest against Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa has been doing what he was doing all along, but they just decided to harass him. They just decided to attack him. If you look, how and when were the placards prepared? That is what is very important to ask. So you can actually see that what is being said, the information being leaked is true, that ZANU PF want the sanctions to stay for a very, very, very long time because they help them to stay more in power. Because when people are failing to support their relatives in the rural areas, those relatives, they rely on ZANU PF. They rely on aid, and that aid is distributed by ZANU PF. So ZANU PF does not want sanctions to go, number one, because they want people in the rural areas to continue to suffer so that they continue to distribute aid themselves. Secondly, they want the sanctions to stay simply because they want to continue to benefit. Right now, when they do procurements, when they buy anything, they use ways which are not legal. They use channels which are not formal, which are not legal. So by doing so, they end up pocketing a lot of money. So if sanctions are removed today, they don't have viable businesses, they are going to crash, they are going to crumble. You are going to see people like Kudata Gwirei being challenged in the fuel sector. You are going to see a lot of young people coming into the fuel sector, challenging him, wanting to take a lead in the fuel sector. You are going to see a lot of young people managing to come and secure investments in the mining industry, which ZANU PF and the president himself is much interested. Which means we are going to see ZANU PF suffering a lot. So ZANU PF itself is an enemy of the people of Zimbabwe. The government we have, the government of today, is in support of the sanctions. So the memo I read today, someone forwarded me a memo. It was saying the US itself was ready to remove or to reduce the restrictions because it talked of OFAC, talked of Zidera. They were ready to reduce the impact of sanctions or the implementation of sanctions. They wanted to relax, to say they're not going to deal with corporations. They're going to corporates. They want to deal with individuals. If it is Mnangagwa who wanted to go into America, he won't be allowed. If these are ZANU PF members on the sanctions list, they won't be allowed to travel to US. But businesses would be allowed to trade. That was the arrangement, or that is the arrangement right now being considered by America, so that the people of Zimbabwe stops to suffer. But ZANU PF, after learning that there's such development, they began attacking Nelson Chamisa. They began making a lot of unnecessary noise. They began facilitating placards to say, we don't want to see Nelson Chamisa here in Masvingo. So you can actually see that this thing was well planned, because how and when did they plan? What was the intelligence all about? Who gathered the intelligence that Nelson Chamisa will be in Masvingo? Because the rural chambers in Masvingo, they don't have that capacity to gather intelligence that Nelson Chamisa will come. They don't have that capacity to run around and prepare placards to say, Nelson Chamisa, we want sanctions gone. This was a well-organized event. They knew that Nelson Chamisa was planning to go to Masvingo. They planned ahead and they distributed the placards. If you go anywhere or everywhere Nelson Chamisa went in Masvingo, they were there. Which means ZANU PF, it's true that ZANU PF want sanctions to stay because they are benefiting more than everyone else from the sanctions. So you can actually see that if Washington had considered to relax the sanctions, and ZANU PF is making sure, is putting efforts to make sure that they do all types of violence on Nelson Chamisa, all types of violence, because I don't see any reason why a citizen of Zimbabwe should be denied access to any place. Myself, I can decide to visit Rwanda today. I must go to Rwanda. Nobody must ask me. Nobody must question me. I am in Zimbabwe. I can go to Matobo. I can go to Bulawayo. I can go to Mount Darwin, Mutare, Headlands. And there's no difference on me and Nelson Chamisa. We are both citizens of Zimbabwe. We are allowed to travel anywhere in Zimbabwe without asking for permission from anyone. So how can you just block someone? How can you block someone? If there are people who must be blocked, who must be prohibited to travel, people like Obadiah Moyo, who is a criminal, who is a thief, these are the people who must not be allowed to travel. 60 million was looted, and it was reported he was fired from his job. He got acquitted. How? So you can actually see that Zimbabwe, we are joking. There's Samuel Hundenge. That man is the person who, if I'm not akaenda kuma raw areas machemberotis, Samuel Hundenge don't want to see you, because Samuel Hundenge abused the power he had while he was a minister. He was charged, he was convicted, and he was pardoned by the president. A criminal was pardoned by the president, although he had gotten a very short sentence, which we all never agreed. But he was pardoned, and you ask why? Why? How can you pardon a thief? So you can actually see that lots, dozens of thieves are walking scot-free in Zimbabwe right now. Chichivayo, just ate a lot of money. The Gwanda solar project never materialized. He is walking scot-free, no placards against Chivayo. A man who looted 5 million, all of 5 million United States dollars. How many schools can you build with 5 million United States dollars? So you can actually see that instead of demonstrating against the people who are looting, against the people who are taking our natural resources, against the people who are plundering Zimbabwe, they are just marching against ordinary Chamisa. Ordinary Chamisa, just because he decided to visit Masvingo. So they have been claiming that Hana plan. So why should you focus on someone without a plan? Nelson Chamisa is not the president of Zimbabwe. Emmerson Mnangagwa is the president of Zimbabwe. He must make sure that he put policies in place to rescue Zimbabwe. There are a lot of young people with ideas to make sure that Zimbabwe functions. Emmerson Mnangagwa is sidelining them. He knows young people with potential. He is sidelining them. He wants to stick with Oma Old Adala's Aki so that they stay in power for a very long time. I'm okay, we are tired of this Mnangagwa thing. He must go. And I agree. Ishmael Simango true say. So thank you very much for getting in touch, and thank you very much for being here. And I believe that we need to build a better Zimbabwe. I believe that ZANU PF itself is the problem. ZANU PF want sanctions to stay because they are benefiting far much more than anyone else, because they don't have ideas. They cannot look for money in a competitive market, because if you go onto every sector in Zimbabwe, there are restrictions. You cannot get into the fuel sector easily. You cannot get into the mining sector easily. In business, Zimbabwe, if Zimbabwe was open for business, the first thing Emmerson Mnangagwa would have done was to make sure that registration of companies can be done online, was to make sure that compliance services can be obtained online. Those are the issues they have they would have prioritized, but they failed to do that. Reason being, they don't want competition. A lot of young people in Zimbabwe right now, they have ideas, and if those ideas are allowed in the Zimbabwean markets, it means the old Adalas who are running small government-supported business, they will go out of business completely, because they cannot compete with our business plans. They cannot compete with our business strategies. That is the truth. So they benefit from free tenders and contested tenders. They give each other tenders. So my question is, I agree that sanctions are harmful to the economy of Zimbabwe. Sanctions contributed a lot to the economy of Zimbabwe. But the question is, why is President Mnangagwa and his government failing to do things which are not controlled by sanctions at any given time? Why? Because, for example, you must make sure that Zimbabweans can have access to mining licenses without facing any hassles, without knowing anyone. What kind of sanctions are preventing the government of Zimbabwe from giving each and every person who wants mining licenses a license? What kind of sanctions are making the government of Zimbabwe fail to deal with the financial policies? I always say the financial policies which are available are not conducive for a better country. Reason why I am saying so is, for you to get money from banks, banks need to have enough money to lend. And banks are not lending their money. They are lending other people's monies who are in the savings accounts. So I will go and put my money in the bank, and the bank will take my money, they will lend it to someone else. That person will start a business and will employ. and will pay back the loan. And my money will also earn interest. But here in Zimbabwe, it doesn't work like that. People are not banking money in Zimbabwe, mainly because if I deposit 50,000 US dollars today, tomorrow CID will be behind me, following me, asking me questions. Where have you got this money? If I deposit $1 million, $1 million, it will be instantly frozen. Because I'm just a nobody. If I deposit $1 million in my account, it will be frozen automatically. That is the kind of Zimbabwe we are living in, where if you get your money wherever you have gotten your money, you deposit in a bank, they will follow you. So you can actually see that Zimbabwe is mainly informal, which means a lot of people do have their money, but their money does not have access to the banks because people are afraid to bank their money. So how do you blame sanctions on that regard? It's you who must make a policy to make sure that anyone who deposits his or her money is not followed, is not questioned silly questions. Go to America. People who do a lot of things. After doing a lot of things, Madiri, they will deposit their monies in the banks. They will never be questioned. Unless there is sufficient evidence to say they're getting money from terror organizations or from drug traffickers. That's when they'll be investigated. But if you just deposit your money, nobody will ask you questions. But here in Zimbabwe, you cannot do that, which is a problem. So you can actually see that pakuti vagadzire nyika vari kuswera vachiteererana nevanhu. Right now, if you check the monetary policies being put in place, kuti hanzi malandlord tichamaudza kuti if you take money in US dollars, tichakusungisai. How are you going to enforce that? Because people don't have houses, especially civil servants. They failed to give civil servants mastenzi chaicho. From 2018, muchingoba mari dzema-civil servants, you have failed to secure them stands. How on earth do you expect civil servants to have dignity? So someone can go from, I saw a video today, and that is a reality. You go to South Africa to work as a teacher. A few years down the line, you have a house, you have cars, you have a very beautiful home in the rural areas. But in Zimbabwe, you will spend 30 years working as a teacher and you retire with nothing. And your pension, the payout, will not buy you even a bicycle. That is the reality here in Zimbabwe. And we have people with that. And I ask questions. What kind of sanctions are making you pay pensioners sick money? What kind of sanctions are making you pay the people of Zimbabwe, like the workers in Zimbabwe, mari singatenge? While you are buying yourself nice cars, you are buying yourselves good things, you are enjoying, literally enjoying. So recently, the permanent secretary in the finance ministry was splashing a lot of money, and people are saying, don't ask him questions. He made his money when he was at Barclays Bank, and we say we need to question him. Why was his money not affected by his policy of 1:1? Because we knew that our monies were pegged at 1:1 by Mnangagwa. Later on, everything was eroded because they just came in and said it's not 1:1. I always say, in Norwadziwa, I had $8,000 which was in my account. It was looted because they just said it's no longer 1:1. And right now, I am a poor man with nothing. So imagine if you are doing business. Your money just goes like that. A lot of young businesses were closed just because of that. It's so funny. And we have people who claim that they are leaders. So Panapanzi, we are okay. These are the comments I have already read. I have already read all the comments here. So you can actually see that Zimbabwe, ZANU PF, ZANU PF, ZANU PF, ZANU PF, ZANU PF does not want sanctions to go because chembere dziri kumusha dzakawana kupi the intelligence kuti Nelson Chamisa achange achienda kuvillage yakati muswakati achange achienda kuvillage yakati muswakati. Zimbabwe, we know that our police is not resourced. If you report a case in the rural areas, they will take 2 days to visit you. But on this day, the police was ready to defend the ZANU PF people because they knew that Nelson Chamisa's supporters would retaliate. That's why police was on the ground and in time. So how did they know? Why were they just following him? I don't see Nelson Chamisa as a harmful person. He's just a harmless brother. He is indeed my uncle. He is my uncle. We disagree in terms of the national ideology of Zimbabwe, but he is my uncle. And I respect him because of that. I don't see him as a harmful person. Personally, I don't see him as a harmful person. He is someone who is nice. He is someone who is personally good. So how can you follow someone like that? Ne riot. How? So you can actually see that ZANU PF is not ready to let sanctions go because we have been fighting for the removal of sanctions for a very long time, and the government of Zimbabwe has been quiet. Right now, they have hijacked everything. They have seen that we were close to win the battle, and they have soiled everything. Because right now, United States is now saying, you have seen ZANU PF. This is the reason why Ramba sanctions aripo. Our fight, yadirwa majecha, yadirwa madaka, na ZANU PF na Mnangagwa. So for how long are we continuing like this as young people? This is the reason why I always say, you need to register to vote. I don't care. If I die tomorrow, I will die. I will go. But you will remain alive. This message will be there forever. Go register to vote. Make sure that you vote my old madalas aya arikushanda na Mnangagwa is. We no longer want them in power. We want people with ideas, people with clear policies, people who can trust the government they are running. So you can actually see that the finance minister we have in Zimbabwe does not trust the system we have in Zimbabwe. He does not trust the banks we have in Zimbabwe. He does not trust the policies they have in Zimbabwe. Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, the permanent secretary in the finance ministry, everyone else, they don't support or they don't believe in themselves. The reason why I say so is because they have foreign accounts dotted around the world. If they have trust in Zimbabwe, ngavaunze mari dzese even vakadziba ngavauye nadzo vadzise mabanks here in Zimbabwe. That is what we want to see. But they have banked their money outside Zimbabwe. Reason being, they don't trust themselves. They just know kuti mangwana vanomuka vakatobirana. They just know kuti mapolicies avanomuka akavhiringa zvinhu zvese. I remember in 2009, people were told to go and open FCA accounts. FCA. People had Mazim dollar accounts. People were told, go open my FCA accounts. And money started vakatanga $100 a month. In the FCA accounts, those FCA accounts were raided. Those FCA accounts were looted. Reason why I say so, we had my Visa cards isisu. From my bank account, I could go to South Africa. I could buy with that card. If I have a Visa card, my account is linked. I can buy, go to South Africa, buy. But that same account was raided. That same account was looted. So you can actually see that we are playing with crooks here. And the only way to build a better Zimbabwe is to let them go. So let me read this comment. Zvikanzina Ishmael Simango zvanzi zvakaoma but chokwadi chamisa is God chosen. Anotonga chete. Zvose izvo zvichapera ZANU inotoziya kuti chamisa ndiye anichaunga. Nguva ichakwana chete pamberi nachamisa. Okay. This is Ishmael Simango here. So you can actually see that personally, I feel that as young people in Zimbabwe, we need to rise. We need to rise. We need to make sure that we encourage each and every young person to register to vote. So if you are a young person and you are in the urban area, I encourage you to go and register using your rural home address. Reason why I say so is to make sure that during the election period, we go in our numbers to the rural areas, we convince the young people in the rural areas. They want change, but they have fear. Young people in the rural areas, they want change, but they have fear. So if we go there, we sit with them, we talk with them, we walk with them, we agree with them, definitely ZANU PF is going to be thrown away in 2023. We are going to have change in 2023. 2023, we are going to have change. That is definite. We are going to have change. We need new blood, we need new faces, new ideas in the government of Zimbabwe. But ZANU PF has refused the time and again to have sanctions removed. Because there are issues you can simply comply with. Issues you can comply with simply without even having hassles. You can conduct free and fair elections. Elections which are not disputed. It's possible. But they don't want. They're not creating conducive environments because what we have seen happening in Masvingo can happen to anyone else. So one day, I had to put on my status that Mnangagwa has failed. And I was attacked by the people in the rural areas, wachiti wamtengesi wakapanduka. And I asked, ndaimbori mumwe wenyu here? I wasn't. So you cannot tell me, kuti inini, I'm not allowed to say what I want to say. So you can actually see that here in Zimbabwe, we need to make sure that we talk to the people of Zimbabwe, we talk to the young people of Zimbabwe. We make sure that each and every young person is registered to vote. That is our goal number one. Let's go register to vote. After registering to vote, let's go and vote. Let's make sure that 2023 we deliver change in Zimbabwe. If we fail to deliver change in 2023, it will be hard for us because the younger generation of ZANU PF is grouping itself, is regrouping. The younger generation of ZANU PF is regrouping. And we must not allow that younger generation of ZANU PF to take over power from Mnangagwa. If they overthrow Mnangagwa right now and they take over power, we are in trouble. We will have them dictating us what to do for another 40 years. And we need to deal with them now. We need to make sure that anything which is ZANU PF is gone. Anything which is ZANU PF out. We must boot out anything which is ZANU PF out. They had their time to correct things. They failed to correct things. Why should we give them another chance? So all the plans they are making right now, all the talks they are holding right now, we must disrupt them. We must show them that 2023, they are not going to win. Definitely, the regime is panicking. They are panicking. But we need to stand our ground. We need to make sure that we remove ZANU PF lawfully in 2023 by voting. Our vote is so powerful. We have a constitutional mandate to deliver a better Zimbabwe, a new Zimbabwe in 2023. We have a mandate to remove sanctions on Zimbabwe in 2023. And that will only happen if ZANU PF is removed. Because if you check on the reforms which should happen, we need to have free and fair elections. and the elections are never free when politicians who are contesting in those elections are not funded equally. ZANU PF, which is the incumbent, gets a bigger share of the funding, and they have incumbents advantage already. So why are they getting money? Why? Why is ZANU PF funding itself during the elections? That is a question. So you can actually see that ZANU PF was threatening people in 2018. Zeki knew about that. They never acted. They declared the elections free. They declared the elections fair. I would have been happy if they had said Mnangagwa has won the election. However, the elections were not free. However, the elections were not fair because serial numbers of voters were collected and they were intimidated to vote for ZANU PF. That is the correct position. ZANU PF won, but they coerced the people to vote for them. They intimidated people until they voted for them. So I have been in the rural areas. If you are ZANU PF, I want Chibagi. If you are MDC, sorry, I want Chibagi. You must be ZANU PF for you to get maize. You must be ZANU PF for you to get rice. You must be ZANU PF for you to benefit. And this is the government which claims to be a government of the people. And you are governing people with which constitution? Because the constitution we have here, it says you must not be a partisan president. You must be the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe. Once you assume office of the president, you are the president of the Republic of Zimbabwe, not the president of ZANU PF. But Mnangagwa has failed to separate himself from ZANU PF because he still believes that he is the president of ZANU PF. Yet he ceased to be the president of ZANU PF the day he was sworn in as the president of Zimbabwe. He must represent the interest of every Zimbabwean despite their political affiliation. So, Team Zimbabwe, Team Zimbabwe, Team Zimbabwe, we have watched for a very long time our constitution being abused by these people, our people being abused by these people, and it is time to act. How do we act? Let's register to vote in our numbers. We are the majority. We can deliver change in 2023 and not. So as usual, I lost my connection, and this is the kind of Zimbabwe we are living in. You cannot go, you cannot do a live stream without having such challenges. This is the kind of Zimbabwe we have. But I just want to say to you Zimbabweans, let's register to vote. If you are in South Africa, for those who are in Africa, or for those who can afford to come back to Zimbabwe, please come to Zimbabwe. register to vote, so that in 2023, you will be on the forefront to vote. For my friends in diaspora, let's sacrifice in 2023. Just make a sacrifice. Come back home. Make sure that you vote. Myself, I made an oath and said, I will not leave Zimbabwe until Zimbabwe is free. That is what I said to myself. I said, I will not leave Zimbabwe until Zimbabwe is free. And I'm in Zimbabwe. I will not leave Zimbabwe. I may go out of Zimbabwe here and there to do some business, but I will not leave Zimbabwe. I will not reside elsewhere. Zimbabwe is my home, and only Zimbabwe is the country that I know. In 2023, I am going to vote, and I will vote ZANU PF out. That is what I am going to do. I will make sure that ZANU PF does not win in 2023. So the persecution we are getting is so much, but we need support from our friends in the diaspora. We need you. Come home, register to vote. Make sure that we vote in 2023. If we vote in our numbers, that election is not going to be rigged by anyone. So I don't want to go further than this, but I just decided to come and talk about this very important issue. We are not happy with what is happening. We are not happy with the situation in Zimbabwe. If the biggest opposition has been attacked, what about other opposition political parties? Are they safe? What about other opposition players? Are they safe? It means we are not safe, because we are threatened each and every day because we don't support Mnangagwa. We are threatened each and every day because we disagree with Mnangagwa. So if thieves are not in jail, I don't know where we are going as a nation, because small thieves are in jail right now. When the bigger thieves are in Borodale building mansions, are in Chisipiti building mansions, Chishawasha building mansions. And when are we going to stand our ground? When are we going to defend ourselves? When are we going to make sure that we vote them out, all of them? So I don't know. Make sure that wherever you are making conversation. You are telling a friend to tell a friend, so that that friend can tell a friend to register to vote. If your friend tells a friend to register to vote, that friend will tell a friend to register to vote, and the friend will tell a friend to register to vote. The cycle will go on, and it will come back to you. That is the only way we can win this election in 2023. That is the only way. It is now citizens versus Mnangagwa. This is clear. It's no longer opposition political parties. It is now the people of Zimbabwe against Emmerson Mnangagwa. And they must make sure that Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU PF don't get votes in 2023. We must not remove ZANU PF. We must not remove Emmerson Mnangagwa. We must remove the whole system of ZANU PF and Emmerson Mnangagwa. We want to wipe out the whole ZANU PF, ZANU-ish system, because it has destroyed the people of Zimbabwe. They don't care. Why are you not doing what you're supposed to do? Simple things. Just practice good governance. Simple as that. And the nation of Zimbabwe will begin to grow. You know what? We once gave a suggestion and said, there are young people who are eager to do farming in Zimbabwe. Why can't you subdivide these farms which my older dollars are failing to run? Give competence lease agreements to say, you are going to do farming on these 10 hectares on condition that you are going to produce. So if 1 hectare produces 8 tons, if 1 hectare produces, let's say 8 tons, you just say 8 by 10. That is 80 tons on 10 hectares. And you say, if you don't produce 80 tons, and you put a margin of error there, plus or minus, we are going to take the farm and give to another person, to the next person. If you just do that, you are going to see that food security, we are going to improve food security in Zimbabwe. It's simple to do that. Just subdivide the farms, give young people with capacity to do farming, let them do farming. But they are looting money in the name of command agriculture, using failed policies which are not making Zimbabwe rise again. And we are there as young people, clapping hands for them each and every day. We are there as young people, following them each and every day. This is no longer a matter of politics. This is now a matter of reality. This is now a matter of our future. This is not a matter of who loves who. This is now a matter of our future as young people. Where do we see ourselves in the next 10 years as Zimbabweans? As young as we are, we must be in the governance system. We have ideas. We must be in the governance system, but we are out of the governance system. Why? Because we are not ZANU PF. You must be ZANU PF for you to contribute to the nation of Zimbabwe. It can't be like that. You must be competent enough for you to contribute to the economy of Zimbabwe. That is the trajectory we want to take. You must be competent enough for you to be successful here in Zimbabwe. But we have seen that there are very, very, very silly people, idiots, who are making a lot of money just because they support ZANU PF, just because they can go and buy gold. How can individuals go and buy gold? Why can't you just say Fidelity should buy gold? What about those millions who are being taken by those idiots, by those nicompoons who don't think? They're taking millions away from the coffers in the name of gold buying. Why can't you task Fidelity to make sure that they buy each and every gold in Zimbabwe? Why can't you remove stupid restrictions and stupid laws which are inconsistent to the constitution in terms of gold? Why? So you can actually see that it's easy to build the nation of Zimbabwe. You know what? I asked this day and said, people in the rural area, the majority of them, they have cows and they have milk each and every day. So if we can say if each family contributes 10 liters to dairy board, 10 liters to dairy board, you can actually see that within 6 months, the dairy board won't be complaining about shortages. It's a matter of strategy. How do we take that milk in the rural areas? How do we put it in the market? That is simple. That is simple. You just need to think. You put structures which make sure that you are taking resources in each and every corner and you are putting them in the market. That is the kind of government we want. That's how you empower people. But they're not doing that because they don't think. These are simple things you can just apply. But they don't think. So you can actually see that ZANU PF is not ready for the removal of sanctions. They are not willing to live in a sanction-free Zimbabwe. So Team Zimbabwe, go register to vote. Make sure that in 2023, we vote in our numbers and we remove the evil government of Mnangagwa, which has reduced civil servants into destitutes. The lowest paid civil servant, and 20,000, and 20,000 inoshandei 20,000 inoshandei rate zviri pa 200. We consider the bank charges. So you can actually see that civil servants are just on community service. They are working for free. To be civil servant right now, you are working for free. You're just working for free. Uchipiwa mare lunch, isingatenge chini. You can't send your kids to school. Yet their kids, they attend better schools. You can't send your family to hospitals because medical aids, they failed to sustain their medical aids, they failed to sustain their funeral policies. So civil servants apasina zvadhakwa. Not only civil servants, vanhu vese, each and every employee in Zimbabwe right now zvadhakwa. So you can actually see that we are being led by people with no brain, and if we don't speak, Zimbabwe will go into the drain. They were young when they were against Ian Smith. It was good for them to fight Ian Smith. But right now, because they are now following the footsteps of Ian Smith, using the 1970s, 1960s, 1940s laws here in Zimbabwe right now, the majority of the laws used in Zimbabwe right now are the Ian Smith regime laws. So what's the difference between them? If they are these are just different faces using the same laws of Ian Smith to govern the people of Zimbabwe. And we ask, if you said Ian Smith was a dictator, was against the black people, was an evil man, and you are using the same laws to jail the people of Zimbabwe, what difference can we give you? What is the difference between Emmerson Mnangagwa and Ian Smith? They are both using the same laws. What's the difference? What's the difference? So this is the reason why we need to vote them out, because they have failed. They have failed to deliver. They have no clue. And their descendants within ZANU PF, they're just the same. If we allow them today, tomorrow we will have them. And they will plunder this country. They will leave it to their kids, to their juniors. And you will see that our kids, our children will never taste a better Zimbabwe. I always ask questions. Where is Itai Dzamara? If he had committed a crime, they would have arrested him. They would have made Itai Dzamara to face the law. But they failed to do that. They failed to do that because Itai Dzamara was telling the truth. Itai Dzamara was just stating facts. And he is nowhere to be found. That is the kind of country we are living in. And we always ask questions, Are we safe in Zimbabwe? Because if you speak the same way I am doing, you risk to be silenced in various ways. If you refuse to be silenced, you risk to die. That is the country we are living in here in Zimbabwe. So I don't want to go further, but I leave this message to you. Make sure that you tell a neighbor to register to vote. Registering to vote is the only way to go. Please press the like button. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you share this video to as many people as possible so that we build a better Zimbabwe. A better Zimbabwe is coming. So for those who contributed here, thank you very much. I really appreciate, and I believe that I have put all comments on the screen so that people can read your contributions here live. So thank you for being here. We will try by all means, each and every time we get an opportunity to go live, we will go live. But because Zimbabwe, nothing is working in Zimbabwe, sometimes we struggle to go live. Sometimes the network is not available. We are trying to use around 5 networks. They are all not working properly. So this problem is not on the service providers. It is a national problem. Another issue is that you try to go live, no ZESA will be available. So you can actually see that when there is no ZESA, network is always down, which is a problem here in Zimbabwe. So if you go like rural areas, you cannot do my live streams because the network is so bad. Instead of 4G, they will give you 2G. Not because they are failing, but because of the government, which is failing us. And yatitadza, yatirambira. And they don't want this information to reach the rural areas. They want rural areas to remain rural areas. But we are going there. Mumwe ne mumwe aruda Zimbabwe. 2023, give yourself a month, 2 months to go to the raw areas. Tikaenda neuwandu hwedu, we unite with the young people variko, they will not beat us, because vanhu vacho vairova vanhu 2008 youths. Right now mayouth acho akajamuka. Saka kana mayouth acho hanhasi akajamuka, ndiani anorova vanhu 2023. That is what we want. Makaona chembere dzakabuda dziya, those old women who were portrayed as ZANU PF youths, they are old women, and hapana munhu avanorova. If you check the text, so you can actually see good. Let's prepare for 2023. Let's prepare for 2023, because everyone in Zimbabwe is demanding change. Everyone is demanding change. It's just that some people cannot speak because of where they work, because of who they are. They cannot speak out, but we will speak out on their behalf until we get a better Zimbabwe. So till we meet again, the information you may want is on the screen. If you use the link in the description box, you will go directly to the WhatsApp group. So you don't need to worry, just click that link, you go into the group. If you are facing challenges, just write Mukundi using the number appearing on the screen, and we will add you into the group so that you get to know each and every time we go live, you will be updated. Change is coming, especially next year. It is coming, but we are going to face a lot of resistance from the regime, because ZANU PF will not just fall, they will fight back. But just like what happened in Zambia, just like what happened in Malawi, just like what is going to happen in Zimbabwe, but change will definitely come. The goal right now is to remove ZANU PF and the entire system from power. So you need to register to vote. You need to go and make sure that you vote. Then we defend our vote. So till we meet again in another episode, probably tomorrow. Cheers.